Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome. We got B Charmin in here, Dana B, uh, Ilvana. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. Uh, we got Grace, the Vineyard Chicks, Bubble Bibble, and you're in chat too. You snuck in there.
Hello, everybody.
Robert Bates. Hey. Oh boy, you tell me that you had 60-degree weather, 65-degree weather.
It's been nice here today in Oklahoma.
Uh,
Now, I
which
heard that the groundhog, what did you guys see that today? That spring's going to be early, supposed to be.
yeah, that's got me worried when he
Well,
doesn't see it.
it's like, well, we'll see.
When's the blizzard getting here?
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't feel like we're out of the woods yet.
Yeah.
Hello,
Well,
hello.
we're at the beginning here, so I'll go ahead and ask you, tell everybody about yourself and your channel and what you do on your channel.
Okay, I'll just do a short little. Um, my name is Crystal Gale. Um, we've been YouTube friends for a while, huh, Bushcraft.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
it's been a while. You used to come on our live streams. Um, I lived off grid for about 9 months. Learned a lot of good life skills doing that. Now I'm in a transition. I am actually living. I moved out of the woods into town, and I'm hoping to move back in the woods. But my heart really is preparedness, and really just paying attention to what's going on in the world, being alert, being aware. So I think we're all like minded here. Um,
oh yeah.
so I kind of do a little bit of different things since I'm in this transition right now. Um, I like all the things, all the prepared things, all the survival skills, all the things, you guys. So, um, yeah, I don't know what else to really say. Um, Preparedness, because it's getting crazy out there,
Oh
and
yeah.
people don't. I don't think they realize, and I don't know that they're going to be ready, mentally ready for what's going to be dropped on us.
Yeah. And I think it's that the there's people still think that the news is the way it used to be when they told the truth and stuff.
Mm-mm-mm. You got to read between the lines on that. And if they want you to look one way, you better look the other because there's something going on in the background.
Yeah. Now, I first came across your channel because I was supposed to go to the Crocker meetup,
Yes.
and
Yes. The first, was it the first one? The first meetup that they had?
I don't know if it's the first one or the second one.
Because
Um,
the first one, we went to the first one, and then I did go to the second one, and I haven't been to. I think they had a shoot dang fest. I did not go to that, but yeah,
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 yeah. I didn't bother going to that one or anything.
yeah. But yes, that's yeah. And we did go, and it was a good time. But yeah, that's kind of the circle that we got into was through the
Yeah,
Crocker community.
that's what I said. If I ever go to Oklahoma, I know a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Well, Oklahoma and Missouri and
Pretty
Arkansas,
soon
for
they're
that
going to
matter.
be having that homes Okie homestead. I can't remember, and it's so close to me that I want to get there because it's going to be the Max Arms family. Now I'm forgetting everybody, but it's going to be a good one. So
Yeah, it seems like that's the area for those YouTube meetups
yeah,
is, but it's just not for YouTubers.
right.
It's they have things like how to build dress animals
Yes.
and things like that. And
The demonstrations, and I'm really curious
yeah,
because um some of this stuff I'm gonna need to, if I really want to do it right, I'm gonna have to learn how to get my hands dirty. And I think the demonstrations, like I can can the food and all the things, but if I had to process an animal, I know the basics, but I've never did hands on. So I think some of those demonstrations, if people could get to them just to get a good knowledge of what if I ever had to do this, uh,
yeah,
that would be so beneficial.
that's the thing that I disagree with. Uh, YouTube, they ban some of those videos, and
Mhm.
then they just let them go sometimes.
Yeah,
And
I don't. Yeah,
to me, it's educational purposes. It's not cruelty or anything. It's
no,
showing people how to do it.
it's survival, and it could be livelihood. I
Yeah,
mean, we need to know the skills, and not just that, but just survival. How do you start a fire? You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of wood would you need to use?
yeah,
How would you keep warm if, I mean, just all of the things. And YouTube really kind of frowns on a lot of that now. They don't want
yeah.
us to know how to live.
No, they want us to all be crammed into the cities, and
Yes. They
it's
do.
easier.
And I was really thinking about some of the things that may happen this year. And I'm going to try to watch what I say because I don't want to like do triggers on your thing. But we know what is happening November. There's like things happening this year, and we don't know what they're going to drop on us. So, people are getting desperate. And we know that when people get
Yeah.
desperate, they do desperate things to survive.
Hmm.
So I really think that's why people should be so mindful of their surroundings, learning some of these skills. Because I hate to say that we can't trust people, but it's getting hard to trust people, um,
Oh,
because they're
yeah,
getting desperate.
yeah, and it's like your friendly neighbors. If they get hungry,
Yeah,
they're not going to be friendly anymore.
no. And yeah, and if they know that you've got it, they're gonna want it.
Yeah, and especially nowadays they got uh, the government tells you to watch out for people who go to the store and buy a lot of food,
Hmm.
and they put you on
Yeah,
a list.
yeah. Me and my son had went up to the Wally World Walmart just a little bit ago because he had to grab some things, and there were so many people everywhere. And my heart really hurts for some of these families because food is so high. It's just outrageous, and it's really hard. And that's what made me think about, people being desperate for food, being desperate because they can't afford
Yeah,
things. And if they do, they really, have to watch what they buy to feed their families. So it really had my brain going because people were coming in and out, in and out, in and out. And I was like, it's Friday, it's the weekend, everybody's getting their groceries for the weekend. Um, yeah.
yeah, and then they said a lot of the states uh, food banks have, are have been running empty. The last 2 years they've they've gave out more food than they have in the last 20 years
Wow.
combined. That's a
I drove
lot of
by our
food.
local high school just a few days ago, and there was a charity there. And I didn't know about it. I didn't see it on social media, but there was a charity there. It was Catholic Charities, and they were giving out food. And the line at this high school was like all like away. It was around, and I thought, oh, these people, they need this food. So I was happy to see that there was people getting food, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's getting tough. What is
Um,
one thing you hate canning? The one thing that I hate canning, well, that's hard. Well, okay, I can say this. I had canned some beans because I thought, oh, how convenient. If I ever needed these beans, I could open it and just eat it out of the jar, right? If they're cooked.
Yeah.
Not my favorite thing. It really got stuck, and it was just, if you do it, you really need to know the ratio of water to bean.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of times I've seen people put dry beans in there and then fill it all the way up to the top and then put water in there, and then by the time it gets canned, it sucks all the moisture out of it, and they're
Hmm.
still dry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I do vacuum seal pinto beans instead of can them. So that would be one of the things that,
Yeah.
because it seems like a really good idea. And if you get it right, you can do it. Because what if you needed to just open a can and eat it right out? Like, what if you couldn't cook that food?
Yeah.
It would be ready to eat. So,
Yeah. Anytime I would do beans, something like that, I would just do a big pot of chili and then can that up.
what
That
about
way
bacon?
it's,
We could put some bacon in there. They're supposed to put either fatback or chitlins in there.
oh yeah.
Get some bacon, not bacon bits, bacon pieces.
um Now, are you planning on doing any gardening? I don't.
Oh my goodness, it's coming, right? Like the season is
Yeah.
coming, and um, I know on my channel I've been talking about this property that I've been looking at. It's 16 acres, and it's got a home
Yeah.
on it, and I really need a home right now. And I won't go in the details of that, because I've said all that on my channel. But
Yeah.
if I'm still here, the option would be just the grow bags. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm really, really hoping that the place that I'm going to go, um, if I get there in time, I would love to just do some basics at least.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I would like to.
That's the thing. I'm what, because I'm in the city too, and
It's hard,
I
ain't it?
I hate it, and I'm wanting to get out, but um, I still want to garden, and I'm
Yeah,
like I don't want to put too much out there because, um, you
yeah,
know, if something pops up, then the garden's kind of going to go to waste that's here, and
yeah.
then I'll have to do one there, hopefully.
And also, it would I mean, here I could do one. It wouldn't be against like city ordinance or something. But I feel like there's a lot of people that live in places where they have those limitations with their HOAs and things where they
Yeah,
cannot
no
plant
raised.
those, a garden or do those things.
Yeah,
My mom
yeah.
isn't supposed to have chickens, I believe, or roosters, and I think
I
she
can't
has
either.
chickens, but it's like she tries to keep them hidden in the very very back.
Yeah, I would probably do it, but I have unfriendly neighbors.
You don't want to risk it, right? You don't want to get caught.
No, I've got rabbits, and I'm surprised I haven't, knock on wood, that they haven't tried to say anything, because there are limitations to where it's they're supposed to be like 50 feet away from
Mm.
houses, but we're in the east area, so houses are really close to each other.
That's kind of my situation right now because if I was to look out that back window back here, that house is like right there. And
Hmm.
I've never lived in such a small, confined, I say space because I've always had like woods. And so this is definitely new, but I have to say it's a growing and learning experience. So anything in life that, like even the bad things in life, is supposed to be a growing experience. So learning how to live here and thinking about what would I do if something like 2020 happened again, like how would I be
Hmm.
ready for that in this place that I'm at?
Yeah, um when it first happened, because I mean everybody believed it was horrible, the stuff that was coming, and you would hear about people getting it and everything. And when I would get groceries, I made my own bleach stuff, but I I was spraying my groceries off and everything because I didn't know.
Yeah, you know what
And
she's gonna bring in your home.
then I started learning. I'm like, wait a minute, th- this doesn't add up. And then pretty soon I was like, nah, I'm not going with it.
It took
uh,
me a little bit. I did fall into the fear category for a little bit. And at that time was when me and Patrick um, was running the food truck. And it seemed like it happened so fast, like it was overnight when everything had shut down.
yeah,
And I remember them saying, you need to stay home and whatever, don't go out if it's not necessary. And I remember I had stayed home and it had been like a week. I had been quarantined in my home. And I was like, I've got to get to town because I need some stuff. And I remember the fear in me when I was on my way. I got onto the highway and I was driving into our small little town. And I was thinking, what if I get caught on the road? Like, what if they catch me out and about? Are they going to question me? That was the fear that I had. And it
yeah,
took me a little bit to come out of that and think, no, th- no, there's something up. Like,
yeah. The thing that dawned for me is because Walmart, you had to go, you had to wear mask,
mhm.
which it didn't make sense for me to wear one because it would do no good.
Yeah, be an
And
inconvenience for you.
yeah, and when I walked in and I seen somebody with a face mask and he had goggles, snorkeling goggles, and
What?
he had a um, uh, coffee filter with a rubber band around it on top of the snorkel.
Oh my
So he filter
goodness.
the air that comes in it, and he's walking around in half of rubber suit and shopping, and I'm like, this is not right.
My goodness. Um, so I'm kind of touchy feely, and it's just a natural thing. So I am more of a if I see somebody that I know, I go up and I hug them or I touch them, and it's just who I am. And without thinking, I reacted that way. And this stranger, this lady of a stranger who did not know me, I didn't know her, she come unglued on me in Walmart when she saw me touch my friend. I
Oh
mean, it
boy,
was
6 feet
crazy.
away, 6 feet away.
Yes, and I didn't. It was just a reaction. She went crazy. It was crazy. People were acting crazy. I'm like, y'all,
Yeah, exactly. The people driving alone in their car
their
with
masks.
masks on.
Yeah.
I I don't get that.
Ah,
And
maybe they think it's gonna
it's
come
still
in through
today.
the vents. I don't know.
You still see it today.
Yes, you
Now
do.
now I do know there are people that have immune things that they would wear it before the 2020 thing
Yeah,
happened.
that's understandable.
Yeah, but if you're in a car, windows rolled up,
Nobody around.
I never got that. I'm like,
Yeah, loonies. I did see something funny though, and it was later on as kind of we were like coming against the mask and kind of being rebellious, and people were kind of standing up for their freedoms. I had run across this funny video where this guy was like, I don't know if I should say this. He had underwear on his head. He was just doing a whole thing. I'm going to go in the store wearing, oh my goodness. Then people started getting just crazy with it. Like, we're
yeah,
rebelling. We're not wanting to wear these masks anymore. My face is covered.
yeah. I've seen a lot of those videos where that the the employees would guard the doorway, not let anybody in that didn't have a mask on.
Yeah. It,
And the thing that got me is, well, um, Walmart has a deli that they sell chicken,
hmm
and if you're wearing a mask, you can smell um, the chicken. So
hmm
I'm like, wait a minute, if I can smell through this thing, wouldn't
Yeah.
that mean that
It's
the
getting
stuff
through.
would go through it? Or you'd pass uh, a woman that put on way too much perfume, and you would smell it through
Yep.
the mask. And I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense.
And those poor babies, the kids, that the school
Yeah,
kids that had to wear them. So one of my grandkids, their first was it their first year at school? Yeah, it was her first year at school. Um, they were making them wear masks, and she cried every morning. And she eventually just her mom took her out because it was just so much for her. But they had to
yeah,
wear those all day long. These poor babies had to wear these masks all day long. It was like suffocate. I feel like it was just suffocation. So yeah, and now we know it was unnecessary. Oh,
yeah. And you get oh, what's that? Bill Nye the Science Guy, supposed to be science guy. Blow trying to blow out a candle through the mask, and he couldn't do it. And I'm like, where is he blowing? Because I mean, if you put a mask on and try to blow out a candle, it blows right out.
I'm
But
gonna have
he's
to try that myself.
I don't know where he's blowing at, but he's not trying to blow the candle out.
What
And it
is so crazy is at that time my business really kind of blew up because everybody was needing masks. And I remember I started off sewing for the local hospital and clinic that we had. And then I had a friend that had me sew some for another hospital and she took them. And then people were just buying them because they were so scared. They were buying them by the dozens. It was so
yeah,
crazy. Then what was the N5? What was it called?
yeah,
Um,
the
you know
ones
what I'm talking
that
about?
doctors and stuff wear, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Then
Yeah,
those came
they
out.
were wearing the double ones because the one just wasn't doing it.
So I've
So
heard just talk. We don't know where this is going to go, but they've got like there's a new one that they're preparing for.
hmm
So I don't know what we should be expecting. Um, and are they going to try to shut us down again?
yeah,
Um,
there's the same place that it originated at uh, has a new one that it's 100%
mm,
catch it thing.
mm. So there's that, y'all. We need to be thinking about it. Just be watching
Mhm.
it because I feel like they've got us watching, down in Texas
Yeah,
hardcore,
definitely.
which I'm like, I'm so glad people are standing up and they're taking rights and freedoms and okay. But um there's other things going on. And it's like we can't just be focused on the one thing because
Yeah, especially if it's just one little sliver of area, and there's the rest of the border.
hmm yeah. So there's that, y'all. Like,
Yeah,
and then today I think I had heard that what do you call him? There's a name that you use.
potato
There's
head.
that I was hearing it and I didn't get to really read about it today, but that he put out an executive order um, in Israel and I was like, and they were talking about why did he do that? Does he have rights to do that? What about our borders? Like, is that not a crisis? So why is
Yeah,
he doing it over there? And does he have rights to do that? And what's going on? So anyway,
because
there was that.
the ones coming over our borders are votes.
Mm. Oh, y'all. We need to take our freedoms back, but I'm not sure. Uh,
Yeah.
Am I talking about the president or husbands? What? What?
Um. Oh, was gonna ask you. You used to have another channel.
hmm
I don't know. Do you still have that other channel?
Okay, so I did have a channel, and I was doing the daily lives. It was more of a devotion,
Yeah.
and that was I had hundreds of live streams on there, and they just ripped that one down.
Oh,
It
did they
just
really?
disappeared. And that was a while. And then I was going to start a new one because I'm not going to share. You know what I'm talking about. I was going to start a new one because of all of the things on mine just brought up a lot of old memories. But I decided no, because I'm getting comments on some of my older videos, and I'm not living off grid right now.
Yeah.
But so I can't really show some of the stuff. But man, it taught me a lot about life, and it taught me a lot of survival. And I decided just to stay on which it was prepared living, but now it is Crystal Gayle, and I won't, share why, but it's me. And I'm hoping that because I really do enjoy. It's crazy, y'all. I enjoy. I don't want to say hardship, but I enjoy
The challenge.
the challenge, yes,
Yeah.
of living, kind of surviving and knowing the skills. I really do enjoy it. I used to take those solo camp trips, and I miss doing that.
That's what another thing I was going to get to.
Yes.
Um,
And it's getting warm. I
mhm.
don't have the same vehicle that I had, but I've been watching other videos about modifications on how I could do it with the one I have now. Because I really loved going on
That's
those
what I was
solo
going to
camps.
ask you if you still had like the SUV type thing.
I have it. It's a smaller version. It's better on gas, so that's a plus. But I would probably have to do because we did the hammock camping, and I would probably have to do either hammock camping or tent camping. I don't know that I could sleep in this vehicle, but
You'd
yeah,
be
I really.
surprised. I
Yeah,
seen
I probably could if I tried, right?
a Honda Element. They're really small, and she's got it all decked out. She can get in there and sleep, and
Mm.
she's got to where she can pull out stuff to where it'll pull out the back end and
Oh,
do cooking and all that stuff. And she's
that's
got
the. Oh
a
yes, you're
refrigerator
making
and
me want it so bad.
everything.
um, I just there is something so like um wild, like this wild adventure where you just load up your stuff, and this is what you have, and you're gonna go to this place you've never been before, and you're
Mhm.
gonna, spend the night, you're gonna go hike, you're gonna go camp, you're gonna go, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just
Yeah,
so extreme. And I would get up in the mornings, and I would brew my coffee, and just look get out, and you would see just the world. Like it was just, I don't know. I just miss it. There are certain
yeah,
places that I do like to go. And when it gets warm, I'm hoping that I can get back into that. Hopefully.
yeah. I like
I know a lot of people say it's dangerous, go by yourself, but that's the adventure of it.
yeah, I like that one place where you were there for the sunrise.
Yes, that
The
was a
big
new place.
lookout area.
hmm Yes,
Yeah,
that was a
it,
new place for me.
it's a little harder to find those places around here.
Oh, do you not have them? Is it not
Well,
common?
they do have some, but like around here, you have to go a good ways like Salt Fork is a good area,
Hmm.
but when I go to Salt Fork, they have like a big old trails that you go hiking. and
Oh.
it's it's really boring because it's like following a sidewalk somewhere, and I'm like,
Okay.
and I said nope, and I trek off to wherever I want to go, and we I took my kids out one day, and um, this we spent the whole day out there because we brought food and everything in our backpacks, and we ended up finding a den that had
Oh,
foxes
that's
and little
cool.
baby ones, and they would come out, and we were sitting there watching them, and um, my kids were saying, "We're going to get lost. We're going to get lost." And I said, "No, I know where we're at." And we ended up walking. It was we probably did at least probably a 10-mile hike,
Oh,
and ended up
wow.
right back at the truck.
Wow, that's a good hack though.
Oh yeah,
Oh
and
my.
it wasn't on a trail. It was just me trekking through the woods, and
Mhm.
we would find little areas that hardly anybody had been on because
Those are the best.
everybody followed the ones. And the one they had was like a mile and a half, and it was like really boring.
Nothing, nothing exciting.
Yeah,
As I'm ready. I'm like groundhog. You better not be lying to us because spring needs to get here.
yeah, yeah. I'm ready for warmer weather already. I'm not. I mean, like my youngest daughter says, she wants snow on Christmas, and then it can go away and never come back again. I'm like, I don't even want snow on Christmas. I don't need no white Christmas.
We had gotten some snow and ice here, but it didn't last long. But it was enough. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with you. Like, can we skip winter, please? It just stays cold and dry. Cold and dry here.
Yeah, I seen I every once in a while I'll watch Jason Crocker,
Mhm.
and he's out there, and uh, all the stuff is freezing again. Type thing. Seems like every year he's back to breaking ice in the water troughs and stuff.
hmm And we, before we had moved off grid, we would watch him when he was just in the woods, like when he first went to that place, that property, and he had lived in that tent and he did all the things.
Yeah,
And man, that's hard living.
yeah,
That's hard living, y'all.
yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody says, "Oh, I want to do the off grid thing," but the
Boy, it's
majority
work.
of people don't do off grid because they still have well water, and they
Mhm.
have
Yeah.
they have a toilet to where it flushes and it goes away.
So
um,
Patrick still lives off grid. And uh he's got the solar and all the things, but if you have a family, it
oh
is
yeah,
so extremely hard. But you can watch YouTube videos, and I don't want to knock, I'm not knocking anybody, but what you see a lot of the times on YouTube, kind of, some of them aren't real.
oh
Because
yeah,
I've lived it.
I know. There's
It's
really big
hard.
YouTubers that have an off grid area, and then they film and they go back to their house in town.
That would be the way to do it, I'm telling you, because last winter, uh, I thought I was gonna die because it got so cold in our little portable shed cabin thing, and I didn't do a whole lot of filming because I was just trying to survive, honestly. I enjoyed it, but there were some really hard times when we would have to haul our water in and it would freeze and then you couldn't use it. So we would have to go back
Yeah,
into town and use my mom's facilities. Um, and trying to keep your food where it won't spoil in the summer, and yeah, but
yeah,
I really did enjoy being out there, and the beauty of my surroundings, the peacefulness of it, and just the slow living. Like it was,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And that's the thing. Everybody right now is used to a thermostat for their heat.
I'm spoiled
Everybody's
now.
everybody's used to that 70 degrees or 68 or whatever it is.
I
I
soaked it up this winter, I tell you.
I
Ginger
remember
Ninja says,
my
sorry.
grandpa living with him. Uh, the only time the heat was on, because there was no pipes or anything, so there was no worry about freezing pipes or anything. When you got up in the morning, uh, you got the coal stove going, and it could be 30 degrees in there. I remember plenty of times waking up to
Yeah.
uh, steam coming out my mouth because you could see it. It was
Hmm.
cold.
And you have
Um,
to work that fire all night and all day. Because if
well,
you let
see,
that
that's the
temperature,
thing. We never did that. We
mhm.
we went out and worked, so there was no need to keep
Oh,
the house warm.
I see.
We went out and dug for coal because it was an abandoned mine. Well, it wasn't
Ah,
abandoned; it was condemned. But we would dig certain areas to get coal for uh, the coal stove,
okay.
uh, and like when it was time to come in, we would heat the house back up and then go to bed. Um, and
Dread that
then
waking up. It's
in the
cold.
middle of the night, after the stove went down, it got cold. But you never really paid much attention to it because you were used to it.
You do get used to it. There were times though, because let's see, someone talked about the toilet. Yeah, I had set up a couple tents, and one had a camp toilet in it. And the worst thing, Bushcraft, was getting up in the middle of the night and needing to go potty and having to go out there and it's frozen. Everything is frozen.
Well, that's the thing. That's how I grew up. It was an outhouse.
So you know
So
the
yeah, I remember um, we actually had a rope from because we didn't have lights or anything. So we had to have a rope going to the outhouse so we could find the outhouse in the pitch dark. Um,
Mm,
go in there and there was a candle that you could light a candle if you wanted to,
yeah.
and then we'd tramp right back into the house.
But isn't it I mean, it must be crazy. It's kind of fun though. It's kind of fun um living that way because of I think it does something to you. It
Oh
creates
yeah,
a uniqueness about and you look at the world a little different. And I'm here now because it's better for me and Chloe to be having a home with electricity and all the things, running
yeah.
water, because she's a teenage girl. So and she's in high school, so it's better for her. But there are times when I will miss some of the things out there, and I'm
The
like, man, I really
quiet.
miss that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's the thing. When you go out and then you're living out in the country or out in the woods, and then you go into the city and the city life right away. It's exciting. Like everything's right there, and
Yeah, it's convenient. It's like, whoa, this
it's
is
real
nice.
nice.
I'm spoiled.
But then you hear all this noise and stuff all the time, and then you think, oh, I miss being out in the woods.
Yes, like having my morning coffee and opening my, the cabin door, and then there's just like the sun rays are coming through the trees and the birds are singing, and it's like I'm a wild woman out in the woods.
Yeah,
I miss those things and the privacy, um, but that life isn't for everybody, and I don't know if I'll ever be that off grid again, but I'm hoping to be more self sufficient. later.
Yeah.
You learn those skills and you can apply them when the going, when it gets rough. If the grid goes down and,
Yeah.
you know, you can't get your supplies,
It's
you can
always good to
survive.
have the knowledge, even if you
Hmm.
never use it. But
Right. It's better to have it.
mm, yeah.
Grew up in Alaska. Woo wee.
What kind of stuff do you have planned for your channel this year?
Um, oh my. I'm just praying, praying, praying that I get that property. Um,
That'll be a lot of content there.
yes, because where I'm at now, I have canned a little bit, but I've got some supplies, like if, I was to need them, but I don't want to get settled in here. So I haven't done a
Yeah.
whole lot of the prepping stuff or putting food away. Um, because I'm hoping for the move and I'm hoping to get animals again. Um, and I'm hoping that I get that property and I can start doing things with it,
Yeah.
like starting over. And I'm not really, I don't want to say a homesteader, but I've got the interest in it, in being homesteading and prepping and all of those things. And I know a lot of people say, well, if you have faith in the Lord, why are you prepping? Well, there's a lot of good things in the Bible where people stored they had to work, you
Hmm.
know, they had to work, and all those years they had to store and they had to put away for that seventh year. So it's good for us to always be ready because you don't know what's going to happen. And it can kind of be unsettling right now because I think I don't have enough food that would last us if something did happen. And that's kind of unsettling. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm hoping that I get this property and I can get the chickens. Hopefully I can have the garden. But if not, I can go to the store. I can get what I can get it canned up, do all the things. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. That's and when you're kind of in that transition, like you're waiting,
Yeah.
it's like you don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff and then you have to move all that bunch
Yes.
of stuff.
That's the thing because I'm like, oh my gosh, spring is coming, and you start thinking about like your seeds and all the things and um, harvest season.
Yeah.
No, but I know a lot of people say the food that we buy in the store, and I know it is, y'all. I know it is, but some of us don't have a choice. We
Yeah.
have to do what we can do to survive. And I will buy hamburger meat from the store and I've canned it up, chicken, and smoke it and can it up, just so that I have something ready to go. And then I do have deer canned. So those kind of things. My pantry of preps are completely depleted now. Oh, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a I've actually been using quite a bit of my preps because it's just too expensive now, and it's
Yes. And if you've got it, it's like, well, I could save a little bit of money, just use what I've got. The one thing that I do is every Saturday I make that Dollar General run. And I think, what do I need? And I'm going to use those digital coupons. And I'm going to use my $5 off. And I keep us pretty stocked with paper goods and things like that. And if there's anything on sale, I'll, buy some of the food there. Um, and then I hit the Dollar Tree a lot, because you can buy some good things at the Dollar Tree and
yeah,
save some money, but also have some things in your cabinets stored away.
yeah. I'm actually going to start getting back to ordering stuff from Dollar Tree online again. because
Oh,
it's free shipping. All
yeah.
you do is pick it up at the Dollar Tree after you buy it, and it comes in cases.
That's a really good idea. We've only had a Dollar Tree here for a couple of years. I'm gonna say really fast. I do not live in a big town. It's a small rural town. So I just wanted to. I seen that comment, so I wanted to say that. Everybody, well, not everybody knows everybody, but it's one of those small where you pretty much know who's who, or you're kin to somebody,
Yeah,
and you know. We have a
yeah,
Walmart, a dollar store, and now we have a Dollar Tree. Yeah, that's what we got. It's not big.
yeah. I think everybody's got the Walmart.
Yeah, there. And someone was talking on another channel I was listening to the other day, and they were talking about how they shut all of those Walmarts down. And now they're going to start trying to reopen Walmarts, but reopen them in nicer areas to try to compete with Target. I don't know about that, but you
Well,
know,
they're um, where you can't go in and actually shop. You go through a drive-through and they load your groceries up.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
some of the Walmarts that they do have, they're setting them up for other things now.
Oh, I'm guilty with the pickup though.
Oh
I do
yeah,
it.
I have the stuff delivered to my house too because
I
I've
can't
got
get
the
that
membership.
here. I was gonna get the membership. Someone, because when I didn't have a vehicle and I had moved here, I couldn't go anywhere, and I would have DoorDash bring me food, But I was gonna do the Walmart delivery, and they didn't offer it in my area, so
Oh really? Oh,
yes,
that
that
sucks.
was a bummer. So I didn't get the subscription because, yeah.
Yeah, the main reason I get it is if because you can get like 10 cents off a gallon of gas,
Oh.
and sometimes it's double. So if you pay attention to uh, the ads and everything, they'll double the discount. So
Huh.
I mean, 20 cents off of gas,
Yep.
it adds up.
Yep. Yep. I'll have to check into that because I didn't get it because I thought, well, I'm not going to use it. But I did notice, not in our Walmart, but a town over where I go, they have the membership plus where you can get that. It's a self checkout, but fast
Yeah,
lane. If you don't want to
I
go
don't.
through all the people.
Yeah, that thing because they stop you every time anyway. So what's the use of doing it? I did it one time and it was like, "Oh, hold it! You can't go." I'm like, I scanned everything with
What's the
the
point of it
phone.
then? If they're going to stop you anyway and look through all your stuff, they might as well just
Yeah,
put people back on the registers. Like it's
and um, yeah, the other day, Walmart has been getting so bad about the checking of the receipts and everything, and
our little town, it doesn't, but I have been stopped in other when I go to the bigger ones. And they'll just look if it's not in a bag, they'll want to make sure that you're not just walking out with
yeah,
those
that I
items.
can understand if you're carrying out a TV.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
let me see your receipt. But when everything's in a bag, it's like, why? Somebody had to bag it up, or you had to go through a thing where there's somebody there watching you scan everything.
Yeah. And they have that, which has happened to me, where I've scanned something, but I've done something else, and it picks it up like I didn't scan something.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? Because they've got you on camera, and they're like, "Well, we need to check your last scanned items to make sure that," and then it'll replay it on the screen, and it could be because I
yeah,
have a little wristlet that I wear, and it's got my wallet, and so when I'm scanning things, it's going with it, and it's like I didn't scan something. So then it
Yeah,
stops and then it does a replay where the lady can look, or whoever's working can look to make sure that you weren't pretending to scan something.
yeah. They accused my son of said, "We know who you are. We're going to keep eyeing you because a 59-cent item didn't get
Oh my.
scanned, and they thought he was stealing it." I could see if it was like $100 thing that went through, or
Come
T-bone
on.
steaks or something like that. But 59 cents, really?
Yeah, that's I, I was in our dollar store. It's been a while. Me and my sister were in there, and theft is really spiked. And ours has now the self checkout. And one day I went in there, one Saturday I went in there, and that was all you could use was that one register that was self checkout because they had one worker, and there was nobody else to help her in the store. And we were in there, and this girl had these two big bags filled to the brim, and she took off running out the door, but there was nobody there to help or nobody there to stop her. It was
Yeah,
crazy. That's why I'm like, people are going to be desperate. They're going to be doing what they can to get what they need.
yeah. And all of a sudden, you're not hearing about that anymore.
Mm,
The people running out of stores and stuff, because it
mm-hmm.
was, like TikTok. It was all over TikTok. There was always somebody watching, and they'd run through with a cart full of stuff.
Yeah.
Now you don't see it anymore.
We saw it live action, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Me and my sister stood there like, what just happened? It was so crazy because the alarm was going off because they have the little things that go up, and you walk through. And I was like, it wasn't me. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, nowadays, if the employee does anything, they can actually get in trouble. They'll get arrested.
Really?
Yep,
That ain't right.
yep.
It's
You
hard
can you
to,
can go like this, stop, but you're not allowed to touch them.
oh my, then what are you going to do? You're going to have to let them go. You can't
Yeah.
contain nobody that way.
Uh,
I did hear that some have their own little police stations. Is that correct? Has anybody else heard that? Or some of the Walmarts have their own little police stations. Ours has spots where it's reserved for police, but we don't have. It's not to that point where they have to have a police all the time in the store.
yeah. They um ours, they have one person. My son-in-law was actually uh during the 2020 thing, he was actually going to classes in Cleveland uh, for security part of it.
Huh?
And that they only have one person running security for the whole store. So it doesn't make sense when,
Was he an armed security or not? Because some places have security, but they're not even armed.
yeah, and
Like,
that's the way it was.
what are you
Yeah,
gonna do?
they're not armed here, which is kind of funny because there's no law against carrying in Ohio now.
Ah.
You can conceal and the whole 9 yards. You don't have to be registered or anything.
I think that's here too. I'm thinking because I need to get one, and I had heard that I could just carry open, I believe, but I got to check the laws because um,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Um, there are certain things where it's good to register because um, certain areas, like if you drive through a school
uh,
area, you're not
yeah,
allowed to unless you actually have a registered conceal carry.
yeah,
Um,
that's something I guess
in
would
di-
be.
in different different areas, and um, you're not allowed when you're driving around. it's not supposed to be loaded, but if you're registered, you can have it loaded.
Oh, I need to
So
make sure I check that out
so
then.
there's a bunch of stuff that is, um, you know, you have to read into it a lot. And
Hmm.
I didn't know this until recently, and then I started doing some studying on it.
I would like to have one that I can just have with me in my vehicle. We've got one here now, but it's bigger. It's my
Yeah.
son's. Um, but I'd like to have a personal one because you'd never know, even if it's to scare someone off. It's
Oh yeah.
gonna scare
Yeah.
them off a little bit. You mess with me.
Yeah. It's what is the saying? It's better to have one and never need it than
Hmm.
don't have one and then need one.
Yeah, yeah, because that's
Something
how
like
I'm
that.
feeling. Because people are shady these days. Something's going on with my hair. Because it's yeah. Okay, hang on, y'all. Just hang on a minute. I gotta figure this out because I'm backwards on the camera. That's crazy. Yeah, I gotta get. I really I know some people are against them, for them, against them, and that's gonna be in anything. But the world is getting evil, and or people are getting crazy because they're backed against the wall.
Yeah. Uh, I don't carry all the time, but sometimes I think, well, I need to today, and
Hmm.
I'll carry.
Do you just feel like it, maybe? Like a
Yeah.
little nudge in yourself?
Yeah.
There have been times
Uh,
when I have felt uneasy about being in a certain place and it being after dark. And I have that uneasy feeling, especially, I'm not trying to separate myself from y'all men, but us women, I feel like are more vulnerable because they can
oh,
think, oh, I can take her and steal her car or steal her thing. So being a woman, if you're out traveling by yourself, just being prepared that way. If you've got
yeah.
one of those, or sprays.
A spray or
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
I had stopped at the gas station. It's Friday and I was going to fill my little car up. And I pull up and this guy's over there and he's just doing all kinds of stuff. And I get out and I'm like, oh, Jesus, help me, Jesus. Because he's over there like, I'm going to smack down on somebody. And I felt a little intimidated, this group of men, talking about their brawls. And yeah, I was a little intimidated. And it was the daylight even.
Um,
A wasp spray? Huh, that's an idea.
yeah. That's a somewhat of a legal way of
Well,
carrying
because
something.
you can get some footage. Like,
Yeah.
it'll get them.
It used to be you could get the bear spray, but the bear spray is legal. You can actually get in trouble for carrying that. In some areas, like I said, some areas.
I'm going to try to read some of these comments. Extra protection. Sorry, y'all. I'm not really not even being good about reading comments. If I missed some comments, I am so sorry. I'm just, yeah, I'm sorry. Practice
Oh,
and learn. Yeah, I need to practice and learn.
are you going to be doing any cooking videos?
So I want to. There's a little, and I like to do outdoor cooking, really. Um, there's a little place I want to go when it gets warm, and it's got like this rock formation where people have been there to camp, and alongside this river, and this water's just going, and you can walk out on the rocks and be like in the water, but not in the water, walk out into it. And I keep thinking about that little place because I would really like to go and set up there and cook out there and, maybe fry some fish or do something. Do some fishing. I want to do some fishing so
Yeah.
bad. I want to do some kayaking so bad. Um, yeah. So I'm hoping when it gets warm that we can do that. Um,
Yeah. If I lived in Oklahoma, I'd be doing a lot of fishing. There's some really nice places in Oklahoma for fishing.
yes, we didn't go last year. Of course, we were really just trying to survive. And we used to go quite a bit. I don't know if you guys know about Spoonbill, but Patrick would do a lot of that, and we would go trout fishing, and we like to kayak. We don't have them, but we would rent them at the
Mhm.
Illinois River Ranch when we had property there. When they were open and going, we would rent the canoes and the kayaks, and we would just go down the river and just enjoy life. Let's go fishing. Yeah. Yeah. Fish
Okay,
fry season.
we're at the hour mark now. So
Okay. It went
you
by pretty fast.
yeah, uh you want to tell everybody like some plans and stuff that you may have? Um
Um, well, the property, of course, but um, I don't know how to go about like I want to do more of the hiking and the camping things. I really enjoy that, getting outside. And we used to do a lot of that, and I've done a little bit, a few videos on some places I've been. Um, but if it goes in the way of me buying this land, it's probably going to go in the way of how am I going to start from scratch and make this place into self-sustaining, property,
yeah.
and how am I going to do all of these things, because it's got a lot of potential. I think it has um, a frame of a greenhouse already on the property, and it
Oh, that'd be
has an
nice.
outdoor cook area where I think it has a smoker in there because we really like to smoke food. And anyway, a lot of good potential. So I would like to take some solo camp trips again. That I would love to do. And then also it depends on the way of the world, how far I go and what I do,
Yeah.
and the price of gas,
Yeah.
because my life right now is leaning toward being so frugal. A lot of you probably can feel that, where it's like, what can I buy that's going to last me? And how do I preserve this food? And how do I make this stretch? Because it's
Yeah.
getting wild out there.
Yeah. If you don't uh, eat like a whole chicken, how can I make the rest of
Yes.
that chicken into another meal and then maybe
Hmm.
two meals after that?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Because
And I
it's
think
just
that
what we have to do.
those would be good, actually, really good videos right now.
And that's what I do, but I don't record it. And maybe I need to be.
Yeah.
I have content without knowing I have content because it's just the way of life, for most of us. We
Oh,
try to do the fun things, but the fun things get expensive. Um, the trips and things. And I talked about that in one of my other videos about how I had these trips planned that I wanted to do, but I felt like the Lord was telling me to be frugal and save. And I feel like He's telling a lot of us to just make sure that we're prepared because we don't know what's going to happen. And what if we get caught off guard because, we're taking all these trips and doing all these fun things and
yeah. I get that quite a bit. I mean, uh, oh, I don't do any prepping because God will provide for me.
Mm. He
And
will, but he'll provide a way for you to be able to prep.
yeah, it's like that one where the um, guy is drowning or something, and uh, somebody comes by and says, "I'll help you out" and stuff, and out of the
Mm,
water, and he says, "No, God will help me." And then another guy comes by, and another guy, and he ends up drowning. And so, why didn't you help me? And he says, I sent 3 people there to help you, and
right.
you refused them.
Yep. So we gotta listen. It's that inner part of us that when we feel like, well, I probably need to do this, maybe not go here, or maybe do this or this. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's just the way he directs us. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, okay, Lord, you know what I need to do. I know what I want to do, but I want to listen to what I need to do.
Yeah.
You have to help yourself too. Amen to that. You do. You have to. You can't. Okay, so yeah, he did provide manna for the Israelites. You know, when they were traveling in the, he did provide manna, and he does do those things. But I feel like he provides these miracles to people that can't really do for themselves. But for those of us that can and are able, we should be. We should
Yeah.
be doing. He did give us a brain, and
Yeah.
we should be using it.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming up for today.
I had a good
Make
time.
sure I'll go ahead and put your link down again one more time.
Okay. I enjoyed it. Thanks, guys, for supporting this. Me being
And
on.
you're on TikTok too.
I I am. TikTok's a
I,
little different. I do the little devotions on there and I do worship on there more. Yeah, I was doing prepping stuff, and then with my life change, I really started just sharing more of the devotions and the worship because that's what's helped me get through this transition.
yeah, I've noticed it goes a little bit better on TikTok
Yes.
than it YouTube.
Hmm.
Um, it's like it doesn't get put out anywhere. There's
Hmm.
no notifications or anything. Because if you look at the analytics, it's like pretty much blank. They don't put it out.
Nope.
Anytime you say God or Jesus, whoop,
Yep.
we don't want that.
Nope. The world don't want it, but one day they are gonna want it because it's gonna get hard.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Yep. Make sure everybody heads over and subscribes and leave a comment too, because you know how YouTube is.
Yeah, it can be ugly.
But I think the Vineyard Chicks have a live on at 6 o'clock Sunday, and we'll be back again Monday. And we will catch everybody later. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.